Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on accelerating study startup, Cloudbyz CTMS for data-driven decision-making. My name's Megan, and I'll be your facilitator for this session. I'm really excited to have everyone here. What was that, Tanir?
You're not sharing screen, I think.
It shows on my end I'm sharing. Can someone else confirm?
I can see your screen.
I can see.
Go ahead.
Let me jump, guys.
Go ahead, Megan.
Okay. So we're going to explore how our clinical trial management system can make your study startup process smoother and faster. I think you guys will find some really useful insights here that you can share back and bring back to your teams. So before we jump in, we'll go over some housekeeping notes. This session is recorded and everyone is muted. If you have any questions at all, you can use the Q&A section to submit them. You can let us know about any issues you may be having in the chat, and a recording of this webinar will be posted on our site and emailed to everyone that signed up for it. So now we can get things started. For our agenda, in this 60-minute session, we'll have a presentation followed by a product demo and a Q&A. During our time together, we'll cover a few key areas, including clinical trial market analysis, leveraging automated workflows and tools to accelerate study startup for sponsors and CROs, monitoring the entire study startup process in real time for proactive decision-making and milestone tracking, and lastly, utilizing real-time reports and dashboards for quick insights that enable data-driven decisions throughout the study startup phase. We'll now get into the session flow. I think today will be a really great session, so let's get into it. I'll introduce our panel speakers for today. We have Tanir, our Life Science Solution Manager at Cloudbyz, and he's been associated with the industry for the past 8 years. We have Archit, who works as a pre-sales manager at Cloudbyz and has been associated with the industry for the past 7 years. And I'm Megan, your host and facilitator for today. So now we'll move into an introduction on Cloudbyz. So a little bit about us. We're one of the fastest growing unified clinical trial management solutions in the market. Built on the Salesforce platform, our CTMS offers an integrated solution that manages the entire clinical trial process. This is all the way from study planning and budgeting to execution and closeout. The cool part is our integrated solution gives us a unique advantage of being scalable and configurable for any of your business requirements and processes. We like to think of it as a versatile solution for your challenges. Our unified eClinical solution helps customers across all sizes. So whether you're a Fortune 500 company or a nimble startup, we have helped to conduct clinical trials efficiently, bringing life-saving therapies to the market faster, overall improving patient lives, which is such a great outcome. Globally, we're present in 3 countries. We're headquartered in Chicago, USA, with offices in Toronto, Canada, and offshore center in Bangalore, India. This offers us the advantage of serving our customers across any time zone. A global team means we're here whenever you need us to be, which is great for customer support. Now I'll take you through our eClinical platform. Our flagship product, CTMS, enables end-to-end project management of clinical trials, which we'll explore a little more detail today. Think of this as the backbone of your clinical trials. Our CTBM helps manage finances and budgets. Our ETMF is our document management tool. Our EDC is our data management solution. And finally, our safety and pharmacovigilance product manages clinical trial safety and post-marketing pharmacovigilance. In addition to this, we've recently launched our cutting-edge AI platform, clinicalwave.ai, which comprises of ClinRedact, ClinExtract, and ClinDicom. This basically helps clinical trial users redact and extract information across trial document images. In terms of global safety regulations, our solutions are 100% compliant to FDA 21, CFR Part 11, GCP, HIPAA, and also Pledge 1%. This is extremely important to us. We're also very proud to be recognized by the Inc. 5000 as one of the fastest growing companies in America, and a Startup US as top 5 emerging pharmacovigilance startups. More importantly, the best part is that all of our products seamlessly integrate with any other products, some that you might be using already, which is so useful. There's no need to worry about compatibility here. To know more about our product, You can visit our website at cloudbyz.com, that is CLOUDBYZ.com, or you can book a demo by emailing us at info@cloudbyz.com. Now, without further ado, I will finally hand it over to our product expert, Tanir, who will take us through the presentation. Thanks, Tanir.
Sure. Thank you, Megan, for setting the stage with the introduction about Cloudbyz and our products. I would now like to take the discussion forward with an in-depth analysis of the present state of clinical trials markets worldwide, followed by a targeted deep dive into the challenges faced by sponsors and CROs during the study startup phase. And finally, we will switch gears and talk about the ways and means by which Cloudbyz CTMS, with its real-time reports and dashboards, enable data-driven decision making and accelerate study startup activities. Okay, so let's start by looking at the bigger picture. Well, understanding the global clinical trials market is essential to grasp the opportunities and challenges that we face as researchers and professionals in the field. All right, so let's take a moment to set the scene here. The clinical trials industry, as we all know, is vast and constantly evolving. As of 2023, as you can see on the slide, we have had over 450,000 registered trials across the globe, covering a wide range of therapeutic areas. The industry generated about $80 million in revenue last year, and we are expecting it to grow to around 123 million by the year of 2030. So that means, a very healthy and a steady CAGR of 6.3%. So yes, the future does look promising. And in fact, this growth actually highlights the increasing demand for innovative therapies, particularly in the oncology domain, which, as a matter of fact, leads me to my next point. So oncology is, really dominating the scene here right now, accounting for almost 45% of trials worldwide. But as we know, oncology trials can also be some of the most complex trials as well. So in that sense, approximately 85% of such trials experience delays of some nature, and often due to challenges in patient recruitment and management of study startup activities. Now, study startup is without doubt one of the most challenging phases of any clinical trial. And as we have seen across various trial types, delays during this phase not only affects the overall trial timelines and the commercialization of the drug, but also exponentially increases the costs. In fact, as per estimates, a staggering 80% of clinical trials experience delays nowadays, with timelines extending by almost 30 to 40% during the study startup phase. Now, this often, is due to bottlenecks in site selection, contract negotiations, and regulatory approvals, all of which are critical for ensuring that the trials we conduct have a high probability of success. And as we just said, oncology trials experience the maximum delays, given that we have a high, given that they have highly specialized protocols, and also really evolving and adapting protocol management systems as well. And recruiting the current sites and patient populations can also be an extremely time consuming process. Okay, so even if we now look beyond oncology, if we take for example the cardiovascular or the infectious disease trials, we will see that near to 70 to 60 to 70% of these trials, they also face significant delays during the startup phase. And these delays are often due to the complexity of aligning multiple stakeholders, ensuring sites are compliant, and also addressing patient enrollment challenges, quite similar to that what you have for oncology trials as well. Okay, so now that we have discussed about the various therapeutic areas and the challenges that each of these areas face, let's look at the statistics from a more regional perspective. Which markets are the potential hotspots of clinical trials in the coming decade? So North America leads with almost 41% of the market share, thanks to its strong infrastructure and significant R&D investment. However, it is also interesting to note that Canada is projected to grow the fastest in the coming years, especially with the adoption of decentralized and hybrid trials. However, with that said, Europe and APAC markets are also not far behind. Each of these markets, they take up around 28 and 22% of market shares respectively. And given the recent focus by the national governments in advancing clinical research and improving the inclusivity of trials recruitment, these regions will surely see they will surely see a uptick in their market shares in the coming years. So all right, now that we have had a fair bit of idea about the health of clinical trials market and how important it is to ensure streamlined study startup activities, Let's focus on the different challenges that sponsors and CROs face while managing study startup, and how Cloudbyz CTMS can help in resolving these challenges. Next slide, please. Okay, so this slide talks about the challenges in managing study startups for sponsors. So you as a sponsor would surely understand the amount of operational heavy lifting that needs to be done for running smooth clinical trials, and what are the specific challenges that you face while managing all of the activities during a trial startup phase. So one of the first hurdles is protocol management and regulatory submissions. Now this process becomes even more complex when newer versions of the protocol is introduced, as is common for any clinical trial nowadays. And this often leads to difficulties in managing numerous versions across different regions where the trial is conducted. So now with each protocol version also comes the need for additional coordination so that we can ensure the alignment with the regional regulatory requirements. Like say for example, there is a widely known example for this, where a large cardiovascular trial experienced almost a 6-month delay due to varied regulatory guidelines in Europe, which was further compounded by managing multiple protocol versions. And these kind of hurdles in fact underscores the very need for comprehensive tools to manage submissions, track protocol versions, and ensure compliance in real time. Then we have feasibility and site selection, which are again critical to ensuring a smooth study startup phase. It would get difficult for any sponsor, so to speak, to take informed decisions without having a comprehensive and real-time visibility into site performance. And oftentimes we have seen that sponsors, rely on incomplete or outdated data, leading to suboptimal site selection. In fact, customers have told us about the experience of working with limited data, which eventually led to choosing underperforming sites. And this eventually led them to, pushing their entire timelines by as much as 3 months. So then, this not only delays the trials, but also increases the operational costs and also complicates the entire patient recruitment timeline as well. Therefore, it is mandatory to adopt feasibility tools that offer real-time data on site performance and capacity that will help avoid such costly setbacks. Next up, we have budget and contract negotiations, which also become significant bottlenecks in the study startup process from time to time. Well, as a sponsor, you ideally need to finalize all financial agreements with multiple stakeholders, including sites, vendors, third-party stakeholders, before you can even initiate the first site visit. Now, oftentimes, these negotiations will involve a lot of back and forth, discussions on rate cards, cost structures, payment schedules, and other contractual obligations, all of which we will need to track in real time on a centralized database where sponsors can interact and take data-driven decisions based on the available data of the site budgets. Apart from this, we also have investigator and site staff training sessions, which are crucial but often overlooked, but is often an overlooked aspect of study startup phase. Effective and timely training is in fact essential to ensure that the site staff are fully prepared to execute the study protocols. To ensure that this is done smoothly, sponsors will need access to such tools where they can effectively track the progress that site staff make on training modules and communicate with them as and when required. Okay, so with that, we have now examined the challenges faced by sponsors in managing study startups. Let us now shift our focus onto the specific hurdles that CROs encounter during the study startup phase, as their perspective is equally important in this discussion. Okay, so now as we transition to from sponsors to CROs, it is important for us to understand that there will be quite a bit of commonality in the challenges faced by CROs and sponsors, since effectively they are part of the same operational landscape. So what we'll do is we'll try to keep our focus on only those aspects which are distinct or sort of distinct for the CRO stakeholders, while we will not be again going or repeating the challenges that the sponsors face, which are also common with the CRO partners as well. So, but this slide again has listed, we have listed down all the factors here, including the common as well as distinct factors. Okay, so now that we have already discussed about the challenges in feasibility and site selection in the previous slide, we will go to the next challenge, which is on regulatory documentation and submissions. So now this presents another significant hurdle, especially when managing trials across multiple regions. The complexity increases as we add on regions. Since with each region that we add, we will also have to own up its regulatory requirements, timelines, and also understand and confirmed by the submission guidelines. In fact, we had encountered a phase 2 oncology study which had experienced an almost 8-week delay simply because the CRO was heavily reliant on spreadsheets, and therefore its study users could not track submissions efficiently across all the regions which were involved in the trial. Now, without a centralized system to manage these submissions, it is quite easy to miss these critical deadlines, which then will lead to costly delays and risk the overall, the compliance requirements in terms of those regulatory, in terms of those regional regulations. So this need highlights, this need actually highlights the requirement for a robust real-time tracking tools that can streamline regulatory documentation process, which thereby will ensure that all submissions are managed efficiently regardless of the trial's geographical scope. Another distinct challenge that CROs oftentimes face is vendor management. Now, since CROs, they work with a lot of vendors, multiple vendors for each of their studies, and each now in and each vendor will be responsible for a very different and for a very specific aspect of that trial. They will need to monitor the data that comes in from each of these individual vendor systems, which can oftentimes become a painful process. So the need is for all of these vendor systems to be connected and the data to be presented in a centralized location, which more often than not is missing for a lot of these trials. We mostly hear about vendor systems which are integrated, that lead to oftentimes siloed information stacks and communication breakdowns. And these kind of delays, they not only push back the study milestones but also lead to operational inefficiencies and additional costs. By consolidating all of your vendor data into a unified platform, you as a CRO can ensure better coordination, eliminate communication gaps, and also drive faster execution. Okay, so that's that. So now that we have now that we have dealt with the challenges that sponsors and CROs face in managing study startup activities, let us now explore how Cloudbyz CTMS can address these issues and streamline the study startup process for both these segments. Okay, so about Cloudbyz and its study startup module. So Cloudbyz study startup solution is designed to directly address the challenges we have just discussed, providing a robust centralized system that enhances efficiency and coordination throughout the entire study startup process. It is built on the Salesforce's App Cloud platform, and it serves as a comprehensive hub where all key stakeholders, sponsors, CROs, and investigators can seamlessly access and manage real-time data. Decentralization is particularly valuable in ensuring that everyone involved is aligned from an early stage of the site selection process right through till the site is activated. Now, to cite a recent example, we have been working for a large cardiovascular study, which has been, conducting trials across multiple countries. So it's basically a multi-region trial that we have been, helping the sponsor conduct. And Cloudbiz's platform has enabled the sponsor to reduce the average site activation timeline by almost 10%. And this was achieved by giving the sponsors a full visibility into the site's performance metrics, allowing the data-driven decision-making process when selecting and activating such sites. And additionally, the system also facilitated the management of feasibility surveys, sorry, ensuring that the right sites are chosen from the outset and houses all study-related documents in one easily accessible location. So all of this not only helped in saving the time, but also significantly reduced the risk of documentation errors or delays in the submissions as well. Well, another important and powerful feature that we have within Cloudbyz is our inbuilt chatter-based collaboration tool, which streamlines communication with other team members. In typical scenarios where we have complex multi-country trials, effective communication is often the difference between staying on track and facing delays. With real-time collaboration at the fingertips of your study teams, Your study teams can quickly address issues, resolve delays, and ensure that all parties are fully informed throughout the trial process. Apart from this, we have also, for your ease, also put up some data rich reports and dashboards from a cloud-based study startup module that will enable your users to take data driven decision making. Again, while Archit, my colleague, goes over the live demo of a solution, he will again be going over each of these reports and dashboards in greater detail. Let me just set a brief context to it initially. So the first report that we have is feasibility completion time per site, which effectively measures how long each of your sites take to complete the feasibility assessment during the study startup phase. Now this will help your study teams to decide whether you would want to proceed with or exclude a certain site based on the speed and the capability in terms of responding and completing the feasibility assessments. The next report that we have is focused around study activation metrics, which provides you with key performance indicators related to the speed and efficiency of your site activation. Now this will let you adjust your resources or support your sites that are lacking in activation, or even reconsider the site selection if activation is constantly delayed by a certain site as well. This third thing that we have is the entire study startup dashboard, which provides an overview of all study startup activities, offering real-time insights into site readiness timelines as well as bottlenecks. Now this lets you prioritize intervention at the sites showing delays or bottlenecks, reallocate resources, or adjust your study timelines based on the real-time insights that you have on based on your study startup progress. Okay, so now that we have highlighted the collaborative and the efficiency enhancing benefits of the Cloudbyz platform, let us now take a deeper look into the specific functionalities that accelerate the study startup process, starting with how the platform optimizes protocol management and site selection. And while my colleague Archit will give you a detailed walkthrough of all these features, live during the, live in action during the demo, I would provide a brief overview to them to set the initial context. Okay, so one of the first and the standard features of our study startup module is its ability to significantly speed up protocol management and regulatory submissions through its automated workflows. By automating these processes, sponsors can eliminate the need for time-consuming manual tracking and reduce the risks of human error as well. When it comes to feasibility and site selection, Cloudbyz again excels in providing data-driven insights that help sponsors and CROs to make faster and more informed decisions. The platform aggregates site performance metrics, offering a comprehensive view that ensures optimal sites are selected quickly. This kind of timely decision making doesn't just expedite the startup process, but it also accelerates patient recruitment, which is oftentimes a major bottleneck in such clinical trials. Moving on to the next set of features. Now, another common bottleneck during the study startup process, as we all saw, was the budget and contract management. However, Cloudbyz streamlines this process as well by providing a centralized system for managing all financial agreements. We have tools to set up and allocate study level and site level budgets for startup activities. The system comes ready-made with predefined templates to define budgets for specific site costs and associated costs such as staffing, patient recruitment, and retention, outsourcing, as well as others. So basically, you can generate metrics to compare spending and return on investment between various sites as well as different studies that you're conducting. And even beyond financial management, Cloudbyz also enhances investigator and site staff training, a crucial but often overlooked aspect of your study startup process. Cloudbiz's training module automates much of this process, from assigning training modules to tracking completion. This kind of efficiency is vital in avoiding delays caused by unprepared or inadequately trained staff, which can otherwise push study timelines back significantly. So with this, we move to our last set of features. So another key feature is Cloudbiz's support for remote monitoring, which allows sponsors and CROs to track site readiness in real time. This capability is especially useful in multi-site and global trials, where monitoring site readiness across different locations can indeed be a challenging task to overcome. Also, in addition to real-time monitoring, Cloudbyz offers seamless integration with third-party platforms like ETMF, EDC, and other financial systems, And this helps to consolidate trial-related data into one easily accessible platform, which ensures a complete 360-degree view of data and enables your decision makers to take real-time data-driven decisions. Okay, so with that, we come to the end of our slide deck and the presentation that I had for you. I will now hand it over to Archit to take up a live demonstration of the Cloudbyz CTMS and our study startup module.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the demo of study startup module, which is part of our CTMS suite overall. We have had a couple of previous events before where we have gone through the overall CTMS, but like how Tunir mentioned today, the major focus today is on study startup and how the system help you accelerate your overall study startup and how you can run intriguing dashboards and derive data-driven decision making, right? So let's get started. I'll take you directly to the study and let's take a look at the overall startup module. So this is our standard login page. And again, just to be clear, how the entire since the entire platform is built on Salesforce, you can customize what reports and dashboards show up over here. So I'm using just a demo org. So demo instance where this is our standard login page. Let's take a look at a study real quick. So I'll just take cardiac arrest 2284. Starting from the moment you click on the study, this is your study landing page where you define your entire study detail, right from the eligibility criteria to enrollment information. If there are any randomization details, just in case you're using our EDC module as well, along with that. Now, in order for, there are a couple of quick things right over here that you can see, you can see multiple sub tabs over here, which are designed based on this, based on this overall startup process, right? From planning to startup to projection, all your clinical sites controlled in one place, financials, all training modules, study templates. We'll take a look at everything one by one. But just to go through on a high level, these are all the different statuses, which is controlled by the status field, where the moment you can either define it over here or just choose a particular status based on the current performance of the study and just mark it as completed. It moves on to the next set of status, and based on that, there can be automations which can be set up in the overall platform. Now, on the top, if you see, there are a bunch of buttons which have different operations. For example, generate invoice, generate study startup checklist, study startup checklist PDF. Everything is configurable. You can pick and choose what you want to see over here, what you don't want can be removed as well. Now, the overall study startup module is designed, with a template-based approach in mind, wherein you can define a particular template for your study, and then you can even reuse it for different studies, right? You don't have to recreate the entire checklist or for study startup or essential documents or your milestone trackers. Everything can be just pre-built once and reused multiple times. You can even, while reusing them, you can just you have the ability to clone them and make small variations as well, and then again use it for new studies. So that kind of helps you with the overall pre-startup setups and all, as part of our implementation, we even help you with that. So let's start with the planning section. If you see here, it basically starts with your overall milestone tracker. Now, these are certain standard milestone templates that that solution comes out of box with. But you can again provide your own milestones, and we can configure it for you for the first time. Similarly, if you see here now, this entire thing is just auto-created using the template, one-time setup, and then you can reuse the whole thing, thus reducing the overall time to start up the product, start up your study, right? Now let's take a look at a milestone real quick. So you have all your milestone details, who it is assigned to, who's the owner, what is the status, based on, again, similarly driven by the status field. It is the related study site, and you can go ahead and start creating tasks for these milestones, add in tracking expenses if at all they are budget related milestones, payments, timesheets, everything all in one single place, consolidate with a consolidated view with just a couple of clicks. You don't have to jump around multiple places. Right now, as and when you complete you complete the milestone, you can set up how the percentage tracker or the progress, the overall milestone progresses, and based on that you can have these flags over here which can show the overall progress right at a holistic view. You can look at the assignments, stages, and status and all. Right now, all the tasks that that you will be creating at the milestone level. Now, let's say you want a high-level overview of all the open tasks, or let's say pending task, overview tasks. You have a high-level overview of the tasks as well over here. If you go to a particular task, again, you can mark them as in progress, hold, or completed. You can assign it to someone, and they can get a notification of the task assignment with follow-up reminders. Let's say if it gets overdue, they get a reminder for that as well, based on these planned date and they can go ahead and fill in the actual date. You can even have, the system also has validations that when somebody is marking it as complete, they have to fill in a certain set of information before they can actually do that. So that just in case, to avoid confusions. Now, as part of the initial planning, the overall study teams are finalized. You can go ahead and add them over here. Now, you can choose and define what roles the particular user will be assigned for this particular study, and their email contact. This email is basically used for all sort of notifications if you want to set up something, and their allocation dates, so start date and end date, based on which again you can drive projections in the future. Right, and individual training logs. Let's say pretty much for every study we have trainings assigned for every individual, be it study team or site team. So you can track the training modules and assign these trainings to them, and they can go ahead and upload the file over here. The training cert, if it is a certificate driven training, it can be uploaded as well. Right. So far, this is more from the way Tunir was mentioning. This is more from how a study and a sponsor or a CRO would be managing a particular study startup. We'll eventually move on to the site level as well, right? So once this study team is configured, you can move on to, you can add your additional trial contacts over here. The entire regulatory submission checklist is here. So you can keep a track of the checklist and by their cutoff dates, and set up notifications so that, and critical reminders so that users are notified way ahead in time that a regulatory submission is coming up, and they can prepare for it, right? Thus giving you an advanced reminder that you have something, even though obviously these are very critical things. People do remember this, but it never hurts to get an additional reminder for a critical item, right? Secondly, you can track all your artifacts right in front of every submission. You can have everything ready, and whenever the time comes, whenever you are ready, you can just go ahead and submit the document for approval, right? Now, everything that we are seeing so far is inclusive of audit trail, where you can see who changed what and when. Everything is tracked to the individual field level. So whatever fields you are modifying is actually tracked at the record level. This is basically a record, right? So similar to that, you can again this can also be created in advance. Let's say there for a particular country based, not a global study. Let's say a study which is just supposed to run in the US, you have a defined regulatory submission checklist. You can just create a template, and no matter how many studies you are running, you can just reuse the template rather than just recreating it again and again. All right, similar to that, we have IRB EC approval details as well. You can track all your statuses, approval dates, trigger notifications based on these informations, and track submissions along with that. Let's say if you have any particular mail with any authority any authority, you can even track them. You can create the tasks related to them. Let's say you define an entire project management sort of thing, and you have defined the tasks through cutoff dates. You can just go ahead and create those tasks, and it can automatically start sending out notifications to you for those tasks. Right now, this is where you manage your entire protocol version. Let's say, every time you create a new version, you can keep it all in one place. So the version control is also taken care of for you. And these are basically the exact replica of the study that we saw. And whatever changes you're making as far as you're maintaining the correct version number, it is tracked over here with every change per version visible, right at a click of a button. Now, down here, you will see countries, which is basically, let's say, especially in case of global studies, when you're running global studies, you can have countries defined in what countries the particular study is going on. And based on those countries, when I go into them, you can even control the study from a country level, right? So now let's say, for example, you're creating IRB checklists or, regulatory approval checklists. So now every country has different sort of documents, requirements, and all. So you can actually create country-wise document checklists and assign them and control them from the study level. Your feasibility reports, enrollment projections, everything can be controlled by country right from the study itself. So you just create a study, define the countries, and then you can just tweak the workflow around the country as well. So that's also how how flexible the system is. So no matter you're running a global study or study just based out of US or just Europe, you can even control that. And there's no additional there's not a lot of additional, sorry, I wouldn't say no, I would say there's not a lot of additional changes required, especially if you want to tweak workflows like this. That's how adaptable the system is. And it's pretty easy to use once you get a hang of it with our expert training team in place. Right. Moving on, let's get with the startup section. So as soon as you come to the startup section, you'll see two specific sections over here. First one is your feasibility survey. Now this is a pretty interactive tool. If you really see, you can control the entire feasibility, your entire feasibility workflow right from this component itself, be it sending, evaluation, marking them as approved or rejecting the sites, evaluating their response. Everything pretty much can be controlled right from this space, right? So if we just get if you just start looking at it, let me just change the date a little. Let me go back in the date so that we have a few more options visible over here. So I'll probably start with March and go all the way till September. So now here you can see all the feasibility surveys that I've submitted so far for this particular study, based on with the contact names, the account names, to which accounts I've sent the feasibility, what was the template used. So for example, since I'm using sending out these in the US, I can use a US based feasibility survey. Similarly for US, EU, right? My bad. This is a EU-based feasibility survey, and similarly, if I have to send I need a separate US-based feasibility survey template, I can even choose that at the time of sending. We'll take a look at it shortly. After that, you have the address. I know this is a demo org, so pardon me. There's not a lot of address available, but you can see, United States, UK, wherever I'm sending, it just gets tracked. Now there is a survey sent date, and I can actually filter it based on that. So let's say if I just want to see the very recent ones, I can just go ahead and sort it by the survey dates. Or let's say I want to do the same with the status, I can do that. This feasibility status is also available. And a couple of colorful icons over here, if you see. So these are the options to download the feasibility survey response as a PDF or as an Excel sheet for all the questions and answers, just in case you want to share it or upload it somewhere else, or keep a track of it, or just you want to go through this, you're more comfortable in Excel, that option is also available. Otherwise, if you just want to review one particular feasibility report, you can just click on this button and it opens the entire feasibility survey for you to go through it, right? Now this is from the contact level. What I can also do is I can, let's say if I want to go through a particular question, I'm interested in looking at all the responses of a question and who has responded what. I can just toggle this button from contact to question. Now all the questions for the feasibility report are visible. You can just search for it and see what responses are available. So let's say, are you interested in participating in the study? The very basic question, I want to filter based on that. I can just go ahead and filter the responses over here, right? So that's how the question-based filtration work. Now, if you want to see all responses, you can even do that. Everything is visible over here. And right from here, you can toggle this button to, approve or reject a particular site based on the responses that they have filled in for the survey report. Now, even for an individual questionnaire, if I want to see the overall progress, depending on how the reports are running, just to see how many yes or no, what is the ratio of yes or no, depending, just to decide how much whether I should send out the feasibility survey to more number of sites, more number of accounts in case I'm not meeting the quota. Everything is, you can just determine right from here. You don't even need to run a separate report on that. Right now, again, I can filter based on the response values here as well, and it will just show me what all sites are actually interested in participating for this study. So this is just the beginning. I won't get too deep into feasibility survey. Just let's take a quick look at how we can send. If you click on this plus button, it opens feasibility send functionality. You can just go through all the contacts that are available for all the accounts. You can filter based on location, department, turnaround times. Let's say if you have historical data, right? Then accounts, all the accounts. Let's say if you it's just looking for a particular account, you can even look for a contact available for that account, right? It will automatically filter based on the account itself. So I might not be selecting the right account, right? So yeah, those kind of filters are there, based on the therapeutic area, even those kind of filters. You can just filter it and select the contacts and send it. So let me just select one. Done. You can go ahead and choose the template that you want to share. So let's say since I'm just sending the survey email, it will automatically pick up the entire data from your study and let's say, if whatever protocol informations are available, it will automatically enrich the email for you. You don't have to manually type anything, and you can just go ahead and send it. Before that, if you want to preview how it looks, you can just expand this and take a look at it, just to review it and then send it. Once you send it, this is how the feasibility email comes in. I've already received this. This is how the site will see the email with all the information, exclusion criteria, inclusion criteria, everything mentioned right away. And they can just click on this button and take the survey. Every site you send, they'll receive the entire feasibility survey just like this, and they can go ahead and start answering the questions. Now, these questions are also something you can mark as required. Certain responses, you can mark whether a particular answer is required, and they'll have to mandatorily fill it. And then once they submit it, you can go back to the system and like how we saw for the contacts, you'll start seeing the responses over here, right? Now, just like feasibility survey, we also have the study startup document checklist. Now, this component, let's say if you're also using along with our ETMF solution, this is actually connected to ETMF, or in case you have your own ETMF, you can even integrate this with the with your integration, with your ETMF system. But let's take a look, just in case a particular you're using ETMF and CTMS both. So as soon as you're collecting a particular document, let's say your HIPAA template is complete, you just come over here, fill in the details, and you can directly upload to ETMF from here itself. Now, there is a validation in place. Let's say a particular template is completed, which usually happens the moment you complete a particular, the moment you upload a file for a checklist. So it automatically marks the document as complete, and you can go ahead and finish off with the document date. So it won't allow you to upload another document. You'll have to create, you'll have to upload another version of it. Right. And again, everything is audit trail compliant. Everything is tracked right at the field level. Now, let me show you how it works for a incomplete document. So let's say this particular study startup document is just another other field created over here. I need to upload it to a ETMF. Now it automatically takes the ETMF folder for me, and I don't have to go and pick and choose which folder. But unless since this is using the FDA compliant folder structure, so everything is automatically mapped. Now this mapping is, you can see over here, this particular study startup document is actually mapped to an ETMF folder. And this ETMF folder is being selected to upload the file. So you don't have to do anything, go and manually look for the folder and upload it. This is one way, but let's say if you have your own custom folder structure, you can even get an option to choose. You can choose which folder you can do that. So we can replace this with that folder structure model where you can go and define which particular folder you want to upload the file. So again, flexible over there, and that's just a toggle that we have to do, and we can change the component like that. Now, if I just go do a next, it will ask me to upload the file with all the instructions over here. The moment I do next, the file is available right away in the ETMF. Right. So that's how the overall connected systems the idea of the entire connected system works. Now, this is all happening in real time. There is, since you're using our ETMF, if you're using our ETMF module, there is no integration, there is no data flow happening. So there is no delay in the document being uploaded and then being moved to the ETMF, and you have to wait for it. You uploaded it from the study startup document. Now, let's say if this is assigned to a study team member, the moment they uploaded it to ETMF, you don't even have to come here. Let's say if you are on ETMF, you just go to the study and you'll have the access to the file right away in real time. So that's the speed we are talking about over here. There's literally no delay that happens over here. Now, another thing is, let's say if you are receiving the document via an email, let's say somebody is mailing it to you, they don't have the let's say if you're getting a particular document from the site, be it a CV or something, you can actually track the email over here. The email comes comes and sits right over here in the activity section. And you can even upload the document right from here to the ETMF. So you don't have to jump multiple screens or multiple mailboxes to get a job done. Everything happens right from the screen. All right, moving on, let's take a quick look at the projection. We are already, we are just 10 minutes, we just have 10 more minutes. So yeah, this is the projections. And sorry, if you want an even further detailed demonstration of how these real-time actions work, feel free to reach out to us and we can set up a quick call and show you around. So, feel free to, drop a message. Yeah, let's take a look at the projections real quick. If you see over here, this is how usually the projections will start initially. You can define the enrollment rate, start date, end date, and you can choose the category. Now, this is where your countries show up. What countries or what you can define your own categories on how you want to control your projections. So let's say US, outside US, or both. I can do that just as at a bare minimum level. This is available right out of the box. Or you can just choose both. So once you choose both, it will start showing up, once you choose US or out of US, you can start, doing the filter based on the category right from here. Now it comes in 3 views: yearly view, quarterly view, and monthly view. You can change the year just in case it is a multi-year study. And I can even see a tabular format of it, right? Let's say you started with an initial projection, your entire study is going fine, and suddenly, there is a drop in your actual site activations, you can actually skew the overall data to individual month level, and change the projections in real time, and that can help your your acquisition team to get more sites, and start sending. Basically, it will show you how to expedite your overall feasibility surveys, right? Similarly, you can also, right after you finish off the site activation, you'll go to the patient enrollment. It will ask you for the patient enrollment projections, and you can again provide your enrollment rate and start date, end date you have already defined. And based on that, it automatically curates your actuals, cumulatives versus projected. Now, actuals can actually flow in from the EDC application based on the subject's statuses. So as and when the subjects are enrolled, the enrollments go up automatically. You don't have to manually update them over here, right? And again, based on the actuals, you can skew the overall enrollment rate if it is going too fast or too slow, so that the enrolling team actually is aware of how to scale or descale the overall enrollments. Similarly, now this is the whole clinical site level. We'll take a look at it real quick if time permits. Let's quickly take a look at the budgeting and contracting part. So this is our entire CTB. There's an entire module which is called as CTBM, Cloudbyz CTBM, which is the whole budget module. Now that consists of our budgets, contracts, payments, invoices, and receivables right at your fingertip. You don't have to get into another system. Now, let's say if you have another payment system, invoicing system, let's say something like QuickBooks or something, we can integrate to that to automatically send out the payments. So even that option is available in case you bring your own system. Right. So let's quickly take a look at the budgets. You can create again, since the entire system is driven by templates, you can create reusable budget templates with the bare bones of it, and then start modifying on top of it. To start off, this is the budget. This is all the budget information, and you don't have to manually feed in everything. There is something called as a budget wizard. If you see over here, this is where when you start creating your budget, this is where you start off with. So if you're already using a rate card with maybe a predefined template, it automatically pulls the entire rate card over here for you, and you have all the investigator grant information, central lab information, data management information, medical monitoring, pharmacovigilance related costs, qualities, and I can actually go ahead and add information right from here. Let's say I just add one test. And I can mention whether it is visit based, just in case I need to associate it to the visit plan as well. And if you add it over here, you can actually go and see the information right into the system. Now, study management, study meetings, and this test just got added as a tab, which I just added. Now, let's say if I have to add a particular item over here, I can just go in, mention test item, provide the cost per unit, let's say $10, a number of units 10, select a unit, and you have a new section added with more line items for your budget, right? And this can eventually you can go ahead and negotiate the contracts, once the contract is finalized, you can approve the budget, take the approval for the budget, and start generating invoices and payments. Right. Moving on, as I said, the payment informations, again, these can be auto-generated based on certain milestones or statuses, or let's say dates if everything is predefined. And again, you can get notifications, or you can get notifications and send a projection. You can even create projection reports for the sites to see, which is very crucial for them, just to be aware of the incoming information, incoming payment. Sorry. Moving on, since we already took a look at the training module in the sub-study team level. Now, this is where you come and define the entire training topics. You can have your topic names and what roles should be taking these trainings. And the other, this is what you use when you, let's say, if you have the entire training already defined for the study team members. So as and when a particular role is matched or a new role study team member is added, let's say a new CRA or a new project manager joins, they will be auto-assigned with these trainings, and they can just go ahead and start taking it up. This again reduces the overall resource requirement for assigning training topics manually. And this is just a quick high-level look of all the templates that we were talking about. So starting right from your ECRF template. Now, again, these lists that you see, these are not constant. These can be modified. So you can have studies project template right at the beginning and then ECRF template right at the bottom, depending on how you need it. And those are just quick UI fixes, which we kind of UI changes that we kind of do for most of our customers as and how they need. So these are all interchangeable. Now, this is an ongoing study. So we have ECRF templates, study project template, your essential document templates. Now, EUS, essential document checklist, site follow-up checklist, everything is defined over here. Now, this button that we saw initially, this is where you can also auto generate. Let's say you have your templates already defined. You can just click on this button and choose what template you want to generate, and you can just select. Let's say I'm just getting started. I need the essential document checklist. I can just go ahead and select from here, and it will automatically create the entire essential document checklist for me. So with just a click of a button. And moving on, this is the entire monitoring template with all your site monitoring visits, all the monitoring reports, everything, including the reports on outstanding follow-up items, ECRFs, adverse events, everything right at your fingertip. All right, just 3 more minutes left. I hope I'm pretty sure I might not be able to finish it off completely. But just to show you around the startup modules, similarly, how we saw for the study, this is for the sites. You can set up individual sites and assign team members, give them access to the site portal, assign milestones, tasks, and get the essential documents checklist created for them to start filling them up. Now, when the site logins, they'll only see their site record, and they'll only be able to fill in and go through all these details. So the entire study information is only visible to the sponsors or the CROs who are managing the study. But if the sites are getting onboarded via the portal, all they see are their information relevant to them. So the entire system again is access controlled with and you can control who sees what. So just like this, at the site level as well, we have the site team members, milestones for the monitoring. They have their entire site, study monitor, the visit calendar over here. Now they can book monitoring visits right from here, from the calendar, or just go to the monitoring and create more ICFs and IMVs, SIVs, or SQVs. And again, the reports that are generated for these, that would take probably another session altogether, but feel free to let us know if you would like to take a look at our monitoring section, and we would be more than happy to schedule a demo for you. Now, all these monitoring reports, again, can go through approval processes, there is inbuilt signature component, and can be moved to ETMF right from within the system. All right, real quick, I have just a minute left. Sorry for going a little over. I hope that's okay. But this is the study startup, just a dashboard that we have created for you, what Tunir was talking about. So you can have a holistic high level overview of the entire data in your platform for all studies, or you can just filter it based on a particular study and just go through that study's information. So starting with site activation projection by study, or site activation projection activation actuals for that study. So I have 25 projected and 24 actual. So I'm still running low on one, right? Another is average time in days for site identification to feasibility study, where it basically shows what is the average time that a particular site is taking from feasibility identification to submission. Now I can follow up and increase my efforts to get those reports submitted. Similarly, surveys by status, how many submitted already? I just have one, which shows, there's just one which was submitted, that too in 43 days. So, I can start expediting my site feasibilities and follow up with the sites to submit them. And just like that, there are a few other dashboards. We can definitely take a detailed look at them. Let us know if you are interested, and we'll be more than happy to give you a even more detailed walkthrough of what you can and what you cannot do in the system. With that, that's all from my end. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay, I don't see any more questions. If any come to mind, you guys can always email us or reach out through LinkedIn. We'd be happy to answer anything. As we wrap up, I just wanted to thank our speakers and everyone that joined and participated. And you can look out for a follow-up email containing the webinar recording and additional resources and ways to stay connected with us. We love to hear your feedback too. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Stay engaged, and we look forward to seeing you guys in future webinars.